For today's cup of coffee,
green fish mask.
Kid is trying to determine a Halloween costume.
Yes.
The green fish mask is amusing.
I mean, that one's funny as fuck. But I'm like,
I thought that
I kind of want all three.
I think that they should have had a blob fish mask.
I'm sure there's one out there, maybe.
There has to be. And what was those other little things that were the cute things?
Axolotls.
Yes. Which I don't normally like cute things, but it's an aquatic lizard, so... Isn't it an aquatic lizard? Is that what you told me?
Yes.
Okay. That and Rasputin. If you've never heard... you are hitting the microphone. If you've never heard the disco song Rasputin, which they pronounce Rasputin...
No, there's no...
From the 70s.
There's no blobfish mask, but there's one that you can squeeze.
That's so good. And we need that in our world. We really, really do.
Well, for $15, it could be yours.
Maybe. I'll have to budget on that. But if you've never heard the 70s song Rasputin, I will try to remember to put a link to it. Because, and I told Kid, I said, these people obviously really had never studied who Rasputin was.
No. There's also this.
I actually started to do a cup of coffee about Rasputin, but when you get to really researching it, he was a bit of a pervert. And I'm like, I am not going to sit here and try to discuss this, period.
I'll sit that out.
I have certain boundaries.
I will sit that out.
But go and look at the pictures of him. He was intense.
Intestines.
Yeah, I see that. And it's like, put that up so we can focus.
That's a
very
smart.
Interesting, perverse person.
Mm.
But if you look in his eyes, he has a very similar look about him as Charles Manson, which probably means it's a similar, unclean spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with it.
No.
Don't poke the bear.
Don't. This is something else that shouldn't be poked, but we're going to discuss it. Now, I mean, not us poking at it, other people poking at things. From Daily Mail by Victoria Allen, October the 12th of 2022, scientists have created hybrid human and rat brains to try and understand diseases like autism and epilepsy.
Why?
Sure, that was the reason for it. Let's create more chimeras. Putting human cells into animal brains is a moral gray area. No shit.
Moral gray area?
Gray area. Gray matter brains.
I
didn't write it.
That's
I just pointed it out. Because of fears, animals may start to think more like humans as a result.
Yeah, we want that totally.
Mm-hmm. But scientists argue that it's the best way to learn about neurological and psychiatric diseases by watching what goes wrong with human cells in a living brain rather than the laboratory. Scientists at Stanford used human stem cells, which can become any type of cell in the body, to create brain cells in the lab. These cells connected up to form clusters called organoids. Organoids. I know what it is. It's just
I know,
bizarre.
but I'm just like organoids.
Yeah. And the researchers...
I want to know what the damn animals think as is. I don't want to know what the humans think. I already know that shit.
What do the animals think? Oh, hell, get me out of here. That's what they be thinking.
I want technology as far as to know what they think. Not what the fuck we think in their heads.
Yeah. Anyhow, the researchers put these organoids into the brains of baby rats so the cells would grow and work normally, and they could learn about a genetic disease called Timothy syndrome, which causes a form of autism and is linked to severe heart problems. This worked so well that when researchers tickled the rats' whiskers, about 70% of the human cells put into the creature's brains responded to the sensation. It was even possible to control the rats' behavior using the human brain cells, which were made to be light sensitive. Whenever rats had a drink of water from a spout, scientists used blue light to activate the human cells in their brains.
What?
Now think of this. There's a lot of information in here that blue light. What comes off all these screens?
Blue
light. After 2 weeks of this, just activating the brain cells made rats go and lick the water spout. So you've got imprinting there, you've got some brain control, you've got behavior modification on that.
Yes.
The idea that rats with hybrid brains can be controlled in this way may raise ethical issues. But the researchers say the breakthrough will also help to test out drugs for brain diseases. Because, yes, more drugs.
Yes.
So,
like we need those.
Sergei Paska, professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences at the Stanford School of Medicine and senior author of the rat study, said, quote, "We can now study healthy brain development as well as brain disorders understood to take root in development in unprecedented detail without needing to excise tissue from a human brain. We can also use this new platform to test new drugs and gene therapies for neuropsychiatric disorders," end quote. I want to know who is sponsoring this study. I need to go and look that up. Because what do you want to bet it's a drug company?
It sounds like it.
The researchers have drawn the line at putting human brain tissue into primates like chimpanzees or macaques, which have more similar brains to people. Professor Paska said using primates for similar research would be concerning.
No shit.
Now, you know they're doing it. They just ain't telling people about it.
They've been doing it for years.
They have.
Way longer than what they're already putting out.
Absolutely. Rats, which live far shorter lives than humans, have brains which develop about 20...
You leave those little babies alone.
I know, about 20 times faster than our own, limiting the extent to which human brain cells can integrate with rat ones. There would be much greater integration in primates, according to Professor Paska, who said, quote, "I think we first have to leverage the technology that we've developed, put it into play, see what it can actually teach us about the development of the human brain, about evolution, about disease, whether we can use it systematically to test drugs." See, it's all about the drugs. How many times has he mentioned that?
Many.
And then see what the limitations are and think whether any other species would be necessary. In my opinion, at this time, transplantation into primate is not something that we would do and that I would encourage doing, end quote. The scientists grew their organoids for 2 months in the lab until they started to resemble the human cerebral cortex. Then they were transplanted into the brains of rat pups, which were only 2 or 3 days old, the time when most brain connections are made. Incredibly, the human brain cells develop similarly to how they would in a person, connecting up to blood vessels in the rat and reaching about 6 times the size they would in the lab. A modified harmless rabies.
What? Modified harmless rabies.
Mm-hmm.
That... No such thing.
Those words do not, compute together.
Yeah.
Which tends to jump from cell to cell in the brain, showed the human brain cells had linked up to the rat ones, partially integrating with rodent brain circuits. Researchers said they had set up shop in the rat brains, creating living laboratories. So far, the scientists have transplanted cells from 3 patients with Timothy syndrome into the hybrid rat-human brains. While the cells from people with this brain disorder looked pretty normal in the lab, they were revealed to grow smaller in a real brain, shedding new light on the condition. The work published in the journal Nature could similarly advance research into mental disorders such as schizophrenia or autism. I don't think of autism as being a mental disorder. It's a brain difference. Of course, it depends on the degree of autism.
I mean, it does affect their mental...
Some people think that it is an evolutionary type thing. I'm not joking. Like I said, as far as Asperger's and stuff like that.
Are you talking about like the high functioning ones, or the ones that are
the high functioning ones?
Okay.
That they think
like,
it is a processing difference.
Those ones that like are on the severe side, that
right?
They can't function.
Well, now I can understand that. I do.
And that's not me picking on them. That's just
no. I do understand, but it's like for some of these things, there needs to be more classification. There needs to be distinction of the different levels of autism. I've thought that for many, many years. It says, without the need for invasive procedures such as extracting tissue from the brain. Well, yeah, that's never exactly good.
No.
The scientists transplanted up to 3 million human brain cells into the somatosensory cortex of newborn rat brains, the area responsible for receiving and processing sensory information such as touch. Professor Tara Spires-Jones, deputy director
What kind of name
this,
is that?
of the Center of Discovery Brain Sciences at the University of Edinburgh, said, quote, this research has the potential to advance what we know about human brain development and neurodevelopmental disorders, but there is more work to be done to be sure this type of graft is a robust method. I also agree with the experts who wrote a commentary accompanying the paper who point out that these experiments pose several ethical questions that should be considered moving forward, including whether these rats will have more human-like thinking and consciousness due to the implants, end quote.
Yes, let's give animals brain cells when, people are losing theirs every single day.
Well, yeah, I mean, my God, maybe we need to give some of the humans some of the rat brain cells.
Yeah.
But these chimeras, that is a thing which should not be.
No. No, it's not.
When you're crossing species, how hard is it to figure out, don't do that, that's going to end badly?
That's their point. They want it to end up badly.
Well, it's...
So that everyone else will be killed off, but they're not.
Yeah, excuse me, I still have allergies horribly, so...
Plus, they're doing this as a distraction thing to get some people riled up and,
I think so.
And focus on the shit that honestly does not matter in the end.
Well, it doesn't matter when they're splicing, like I said, different
Compared
species.
to the other shit, it really doesn't matter.
Well, the chimeras and the fact that they had relaxed the regulation about the chimeras months ago. And so, and it's little by little, that's how this stuff gets created and then loosed. And... yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
And they always have this good excuse for why they want to do this. I mean, it's just...
I think it's just like, don't fuck with it.
I understand that there's always going to be some kind of genetic anomaly. But I did read a study today that there was this parent that they had, before the child was born, and I think they were in North Carolina that this had happened, that they had the child checked for any and all genetic disorders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if they had found one, what would have happened to the child? Because, like I said, it was not yet born. Would it have been yeeted?
Don't know. I don't know.
That's horrific. I mean, we are
It's not legal to eat it anyway.
Oh, yes, it is. Well, it depends on what state you're in right now. But, I mean, we are getting into some really scary shit. Not the happy, scary shit. This is the scary shit that disturbs kid greatly.
Yes.
Because when you're dealing with this type of stuff, I would much rather deal with the top hat ghost. But it's also a matter of bringing information that some of our viewers may not have been aware of. And so I do have to go down some deep, dark rabbit holes from time to time. For those of you who are new, last year, did a series on mad scientists. It was a 2-part one. I mean, very thoroughly researched. And I basically had to limit that type of subject matter because it was wearing on kid horribly.
Mm-hmm.
Because man's inhumanity to man. Now you got man's inhumanity to man and rat. Those poor rats. I mean, I understand it has to be sometimes, but I have never been one of these that liked even the thought of testing whatever on animals.
It's like they can't even communicate. Now that is like unethical because they cannot consent or not. You know,
right?
They don't have a voice to speak out like we can.
I do not believe in torturing
it's not
anything.
Right.
Peoples, rats. Other than that, I mean, yes, I understand you have to have foods. I am carnivore. I get that. I don't believe the animals should suffer during the harvesting process.
If y'all have a rat cage you want to give me, I'll take it.
Bumming.
If you have a rat, I'll take it.
You always bumming.
I'm looking.
That's Gen Z. That's what that is.
Is that bumming? I didn't say.
Yeah, you bumming.
I didn't say.
Bumming. Anyhow.
I didn't say it for free or not. I'll pay it.
Mm-hmm. But I just, as far as abusing something,
no,
and to torture and kill something, to sit there and go, oh well, it's expendable. I don't know. Maybe this is coming out from those years that I studied Buddhism. As far as every life is sacred, every life. Spiders do not count. Sorry.
This one girl on TikTok, she died for like a minute, and then like she was up there, and she had to give accountability for all the bugs that she killed. She had to stand in every single one and plead her case as to why she could go to heaven.
And sit there and go, you were in my space.
Yeah, she's like, you were in my space. You went in my house.
Show me where it is written, thou shalt not kill bugs.
I'm just saying that's what she saw. You want to argue with what someone saw?
I'm not arguing with it.
It sounds like you want to argue with someone what someone saw when they died.
Well, maybe that was hers. That is bugs.
That's why I'm under the opinion. Bugs. We don't know what shit about shit. I think we create our own shit in the end.
A lot of times I think we do create our own consequences a lot. Of course, I've been shit posting on one of the Christian websites about Halloween.
They deserve it.
Because you have a lot of people that are biblically illiterate and they do not understand the difference between Halloween and Samhain and some of these others. They don't understand what the term pagan means. Go back to last year. Again, we went into scholarly research.
You'll have to dig for a bit.
What, did they eat them off of YouTube?
No, we do so many that they're going to have to
it's last
dig
October.
For a bit.
They can just look up last October. And like I said, some of those things took me days and weeks to research. Mm-hmm. So, that's the reason we're not doing that this year. But there's so much to keep up with.
That's why I'm not putting any effort in my Halloween costume.
There's so much that is going on in the news. My God, it's just right there. But no, we're not.
It's not just right there. I can choose whether or not to look at it or not.
Well, I know, but I do the research on this stuff as far as the topics. Rasputin, you all can do the research on Rasputin yourself. Not gonna make a cup of coffee on that one. There was no way. I'm like, no, I could feel myself blushing just thinking about trying to present that. It's like, yep, nope. So, human rat brain hybrids, organoids, mad scientists. We've had a lot of those lately.
Yeah.
We got
this town is fucked. This time is fucked. That's what I meant. Not this town. This time is fucked.
The town has been fucked for years. But it is, it's a clear-cut time of decision. Which side are you on this? And it's like when you got people doing some really, really dark stuff that their intention is not, and it's not just the intention, their actions are hurting any living thing. Mm-hmm. Now, do these people think of some people any higher than they do rats? Nope. No, they don't. They have proven that.
Some of those people don't think of anything of any sort of living life.
I think they're a bunch of sociopaths.
Yes.
So,
a lot of them are.
Lizard people.
Or else they wouldn't be up there.
The lizard people, they trying to kill the humans, and yeah. So it's a matter of fighting back against the lizard peoples.
Yeah.
Don't eat bugs. They're bad for you.
Where our food in the grocery stores is spliced with it anyway.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that people have been talking about.
There's this one woman.
Side effects of eating these damn bugs.
There's this one woman. I don't remember what it was for, some sort of big thing, or magazine or whatever. She's a celebrity of some sort, and she eats bugs, and she was eating them with like chopsticks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
now,
that's nasty. Live bugs.
That's a reptile. That's a reptilian person right there. If anybody needed proof that these things are, there you go.
Yeah. It grossed me the fuck out, but I kept on watching.
Oh, of course you did.
It's like a car wreck. You can't.
No. I can easily sit there and go, nope, not today. Not today.
It's just like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
So, I'm looking for, even my sites, my paranormal sites and stuff, they kind of low on stories right now. Mm-hmm. Because there's so much fuckery that's going on for real. You don't even have to deal with the ghost.
Yeah.
You've got to deal with the demons that's behind this shit that's going on. And that's exactly what it is.
Yes.
There is a difference between Satanists and Luciferians also, folks.
You didn't know that?
No, I knew that. That was another thing. We did a cup on that.
Some people think it's the same thing, and it's like, no, there's not.
It's not the same thing. So, see, we be educational and shit. Mm-hmm. For those, like I said, we've got new peoples coming on board, and they're like, what the hell is this? It's like, don't know, but it's interesting. It's weird. That's the whole point. That is our agenda. Mm-hmm. To be weird.
You know, speaking of weird, we still need to go to Spirit Halloween.
Well, I don't know whether that's going to happen or not this year. That's a far drive.
Okay.
Gas prices, are you kidding? We can shop online. That's what they're trying to do. They're putting everybody on fucking house arrest. Yeah.
All right.
So, if you've had experiences...
I just wanted to see the weirdness in it.
Well, yeah.
That was this year.
I know. I appreciate the experience of the weirdness because it's not the same as when you're there.
No.
And you get to see and play with the animatronics and...
I like those animatronics.
The animatronics
from the movie.
Awesome. Yeah.
Spirit Halloween movie.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Fun stuff.
Yes.
If you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, mad scientists, send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. Hey, people may have some stories about Rasputin out there.
Rasputin.
Edit them. We don't need the X-rated version. I don't need the X-rated version of it. So, link for the article and link for the email address, both in the description box. Know that you're loved.
Yes.
We deal with the darkness by making fun of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all, and have a good.
We'll see you on the next cup.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.